Hello again everybody, welcome back to the channel. Another preview today, a little bit of an ad hoc stream to be fair actually. One that we didn't expect to be doing. But, alas, another preview needs to be shown off. So, today a little bit unexpected I suppose. Certainly yesterday we were on about leaving the streams for the week before I head back to work, but let's fit one final one in. We're flying today Exeter with this incredible super spud made freeware available on flightsim.to down to Gibraltar. RDPresets, they're releasing their new Gibraltar airport scenery on the 25th of February, so 2 days from now, and we're going to head down there. The Osprey Holidays fleet, the PMDG 737-900ER for us today. Currently boarding in progress at stand 9 on the VATSIM network. Lots to look forward to with Gibraltar actually, and from what I've seen very briefly spawning in to take the thumbnail image for today's live stream, very impressed. Think things like animated cable cars going up the mountain, animated vehicles crossing the airport runway, as well as is famous in Gibraltar, controlled by an action within the aircraft that the scenery reads, and in this particular case, this 737, it's the beacon. So as it expects us to be flying nearby, it looks for that beacon being active, which it will be because we'll be in flight, and it will then close the border crossing to prevent people driving across the airfield while we are on approach. It's very smart. There's loads more to see. It's just a little teaser for what to expect in a couple of hours' time as we make our way across Europe down to Gibraltar. So, throwing in the baggage, throwing on the passengers, and we're going to have a quick look at Navigraph. MG King, welcome. Dursey2, Badger, Dan as well, Birdman, Joey Goofy, Zato, Rab, Ian Hergy in the Dubrovnik Mad Dog. Ian, we are indeed ready for some flying. Sporty flying. Commentator, good afternoon. Rab as well, Samuel. Doc, welcome buddy. Fritz, Oster, we've literally taken over Exeter, haven't we? Pretty cool. Samuel says hello from Manchester Ground. Didn't realise was today streaming would have come along. Well, you still have a little bit of time. Pretty much, Dursey2. Yes, automated. Good morning, Mikhail as well. Carlito, hello. Yeah, there is lots to see, so we will explore Gibraltar when we get there. Navigraph. So these are the charts for Exeter, our departure airport for today. It's a very niche airport, very small airport that is not really utilised very much except for short, very short domestic hops in the ATRs, in and out of Jersey, for example. Like St Mary's, flight stand to St Mary's, I forget the name of the little island chain down there, and there is an Aer Lingus regional service and an ATR that goes back and forth, I think between Dublin, I believe, so very limited on flights times. Anyway, so we're at the main apron. It's a very tiny apron at Bravo. We're going to basically push start to face west. We're using runway 08 for departure. We're going to go to Bravo because Axe Alpha is too narrow for this big aeroplane. That's it, the R's of silly Depod. Thank you, buddy. Brian, welcome. David G as well, hello to you. We're going to hold at Bravo 1 and from there a little backtrack down to the end, turning and using as much runway as possible for a departure here today. 2,000 metre long runway, but we're having to depart flap 15 today because of weight and weather and that sort of thing. So flap 15 for takeoff. Now if we look at the left hand side of the screen and we look at the charts, SIDS, there aren't any. Reference page, all we have is radar minimum alts. Runway 08 particularly is unique. You have to climb until 1,500 feet, best rate of climb, and then sort of you go into the noise abatement, thrust reduction, and sort of gentle out the climb. But there's not really much information. Everything's in the general chart section here. Preferential runway system. You still might get some aircraft departing 2.6 due to performance limitations, even if 08 is in use. Noise abatement procedures as well here. Pushback. Runway 08, climb with maximum rate compatible with safety. to 1,500 above aerodrome 11 before turning. Hank, hello buddy, welcome. Your Anybuilds scenery is in your Anybuilds account, I think. Oklahoma City. That's very weird. Hold on. I don't know what's happening with Navigraph at the moment. Yeah, we seem to be stuck in a weird Navigraph loop. Somebody close Navigraph. Perhaps Navigraph's just gone down. Oh, Matteo, he's got the same problem at the moment. Shots desktop was successfully linked. You can now close this window. That's weird. Slight server issue, perhaps. Anyway, our routing is going to be directly south. So if we zoom right in at the top here, there are no departures as we were just talking about. So departing on 08, if we zoom in here, lovely little chart update, out of Bravo, backtrack 08. From there, we're going to initially climb up a little bit, and then we're going to turn southbound towards Bravo, Hotel Delta, the Berryhead VOR 11205, and from there then beginning our little journey en route over France, over Santander, passing to the west of Madrid, and then heading into Gibraltar, where again there are no arrivals charted as such except for this. And visual approaches. It's all changed because of basically Brexit. But on the left you can see 0 departures available, 0 arrivals available, 0 approaches available. And our diversion is Malaga, Costa del Sol airports. Yes, AirAC day today indeed. The new Navigraph AirAC stuff. So with all of that in mind, as we've just discussed, flap 15 for takeoff, we're using 26k N1 today, so need a little bit more power. Takeoff trim is 4.77, and our V1, 129 knots, V rotate, 137, V2, 145, V2 plus 10, 155. Runway heading is 077, like so. And we're going to try and intercept maybe the outbound radial of 030 or 025 degrees from Berryhead. So round in that quadrant we're going to begin to turn, I think. We'll just play it by ear effectively though. We could just leave it on LNAV though and let it do its thing and follow that flight director as we hand fly the jet. Everything in the overhead panel looks good. Get GSX fired up.
This parking is too small for your aircraft.
Prepare for pushback. Make sure we tune the frequency. QNH 1020. Exeter traffic, Osprey 165, Boeing 737-900ER, stand 8, QNH 1020, push and start to face west, Exeter traffic.
Exeter traffic, Osprey 490, Boeing 737-900, push and start from stand 4, QNH 1020.
Centre tanks are really full. Well, I say really full, they're not really that full. 2.69 tonnes.
Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted.
458 push to Kansas, facing west, type Boeing 737-8. This is the traffic.
Exeter traffic, Osprey 2306, 737-900,
Grab.
stand 7 will lift.
If you've got the Osprey liveries installed, then what you can do is download the VMR from the British Avgeek website, and that will purely look for Osprey liveries. Yeah, Adam, seems to be a release out of nowhere. They've kept it very quiet, haven't they? It's nice though. It's a wonderful airport and a very cool approach too. Looks like we're all pushing at the same time. Little sort of thing for us today. As we depart, we want... Oh. Tail left. West. I think.
Exeter traffic, Osprey 072, push back and start from stand 5 after the 2...
Yeah, 4-minute separation for today.
Taxi pass.
Start at will.
From left to right, Exeter traffic.
Get rid of the music for now. Ground. Yeah, I mean the scenery is pretty cool anyway. It's freeware, flightsim.to, and it's created by Super Spuds. The Cessna that's on that hangar isn't actually there in the scenery, but it's a very cool scenery for Exeter. There is also a payware version by, I think, Aerosoft. Rav, yeah, that's the one. DVX liveries, but you obviously need the relevant liveries installed as best as possible as well to make it work better. The great thing with this is it's Super Spud's local airport, so he has created a really accurate scenery, effectively. Carl, welcome. If I was to guess who was on the roof, I'd probably say maybe
Set parking brake.
Mark, TBS.
Waiting your confirmation for good engine start.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start.
Auto ignition, so we don't need to worry about flicking across. Adam, it's available for the 737-800 now as well, this Osprey Holidays livery. Those of you who don't have the 900 but have the 800, you can now enjoy this livery too. Thanks to Damo Designs. Creating it all, getting it all painted. 1228, we've got the VORs tuned for Berry Head.
Unlocking gear.
We shall go from there. Good patrol, I believe it is on run. Watching those instrument displays for a moment. Oh, look at that.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Left's clear, right clear, auto, that's flicked back across for engine start, so gens 1 and 2 go on. Quick look at the overhead panel here, so I'm just going to fiddle the views. Check gens 1 and 2. Probe heat's on, but it's also automatic as an option, so if you forget it, that doesn't matter. If it says auto there, that's fine. Hydraulics are all good, we've got no warning signs, that's all fine, that's all good, that's set.
Behind the company 490.
Packs auto, isolation valve auto, recirc fans auto, engine 1 and 2 bleeds. The cruise altitude is set, the landing elevation if we return is set. That's all good. We've had the wave, that little have a nice flight thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stages of flap now. Auto brake RTO, taxi lights are on. LNAV armed, VNAV armed. Auto thrust armed, system page fully right on the controls. Back to neutral, fully left. Back to neutral, all the way back. Back to neutral, and all the way forwards. So I'm just going to do a little bit of wiggly wiggly on the rudders. Exeter traffic, Osprey 165, taxi to hold point Bravo 1, runway 08 via Bravo. Exeter traffic. Master caution test. APU off.
Traffic, Osprey 490 will be calling company traffic. Hold with Bravo 1.
Can't use that LNAV because we are just literally flying direct to, so we've set runway heading. We're going to fly with heading select mode. Yes, Dusty, thank you. Good spot, good spot. Engine displays look normal. We cleared the bottom page.
Exeter traffic, obviously, 458
I always press the traffic button, Ryan. In fact, we've pressed it already. So that's it active on the nav display. If we click it now, it turns off. That's active, which is how we get the TCAS stuff. Flat 15 in green. So it's a short runway today. We're using a lot of engine power as well. And 4 minutes separation between departures, and that will help us sequence into Gibraltar nicely. I'm flying the cruise at Mach 0.79 today. Fuel flow reset rate. Quick check of the windsock. Hey, this is a great freeware scenery, folks. This is really good. Exeter traffic, Osprey 165 is backtrack runway 08. Strobe steady, anti-collision lights are on. Lights, signs. Do that, little cabin ding. This is going to be the sportiest departure we've done in the 900ER. And today, folks, as well, don't forget, New Zealand's World Update is releasing in 4 or 5 hours from now. Very exciting. That's going to be spectacular. Get that control visualizer up. We need to use as much runway as possible, so every centimetre helps. If we were using flat 5 departure, which is usually our sort of typical go-to for the jet, VAS Airplane Toolbox said that we would actually have less than 180 metres left of the runway. Okay. Gonna hold her on the brakes. Look at that, that's epic. That's so cool. Akash, hello to you. Yes, yes, so Jersey 2's right there as well. NZA Simulations is releasing Christchurch as a payware at the same time that New Zealand World Update arrives too. Exeter traffic, Osprey 165 taking off 08, direct Berryhead. So 40%, thrust set, toga. Still holding the brakes, off the brakes.
Your speed's alive.
Here we go. Zoom, zoom. We've got flat 15. We've got to retract through.
Exeter traffic, Osprey 490, backtrack 08.
V1.
Rotate. E2. Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. That's very variable wind. Lap 10. That's fine, that's good. Up here, runway, turn off lights, off. Lap 5. Very, very variable weather.
Exeter traffic, Osprey 2472, taxiing via Alpha to hold input Bravo 1.
From here, CMD engage,
08.
and we'll begin the right turn. Very, very bumpy. Exeter traffic Osprey 165 airborne 2,600 feet direct Berryhead. Final call Exeter. Cool, Berryhead. Get rid of the flaps now. Perhaps says, why do we need to backtrack? Because the runway's really short. Those of you wondering who usually operates from Exeter, TUI. They go off to Tenerife, that sort of thing. They operate a couple of the Canary Islands flights out of Exeter still. Very, very small airport indeed. Into some pea soup. So it's an inbound radial, or an outbound radial of 020 from Berryhead that we're flying. We're flying the back course to that.
Exeter traffic to Prosnik, tu Papa Lima taxi hop runway 09.
Now we pop it on LNAV. Lovely jubbly. Yeah, there is a taxiway to the end of the runway, but it depends on wingspan, wheel span. There's a couple of things that are in the charts. Basically, if you're a large aircraft, category C, for example, most airliners A320, the 737s as well, then it's mandatory that you use Bravo only because of size.
Traffic Osprey 90, taking off runway 08.
Adam, unfortunately not. I'm back to work tomorrow, so we've squeezed this one in as a little bonus stream to go and have a little look at the new RDPresets Gibraltar. There's so many payware airports releasing this week, it's insane. Today we've got Aerosoft's latest update coming at some point today for Berlin Brandenburg version 2, that free update that we enjoyed yesterday. The day before we had a look at Christchurch as well by NZA Simulations. Their payware releasing today in line with that MSFS World Update for New Zealand 2. That in itself comes with a whole host of new airports as well. And within it you need to go to the NZA Simulations website for the New Zealand World Update today, folks, and download some of their free packs, their model library, and there's a couple of other things as well that they haven't been able to package into the freeware included in the update because of sort of licensing conditions that Microsoft work within. So you have to then download them for free via their website instead, and that will increase the immersion and add to the looks of the airports like Road to Rua. Although I'm certain I've probably pronounced that badly as well, as is the norm. Landing lights off. Carl, you are more than welcome. Hope you enjoy it. Oh, absolutely, Dursity. Tapsy's working on one as well with a little nod to my doggy that's going to be included in the livery somewhere as an Easter egg. Depod, yeah, so years ago they, TUI obviously, well back in the days of Thomson Fly and Thomson Airways, they were exploring kind of expansion within regional bases, weren't they? So that's why Coventry Airport had some services with Thomson as well, which is quite cool. Flight attendant Joe, welcome on board. Crazy Dudes, new to VATSIM. I saw in your video that in the start, during cold and dark setup, when you first talked with ATC, you said information Sierra or something. What does that mean? That refers to the ATIS. So if you're at a controlled airport with ATIS information on vPilot, you'll see it'll say ATIS info alpha or something like that. So that's what that means, and that is ATIS information that gives you lots of weather information at the airport, basically. Ferry head below. Very bumpy ride, David, isn't it? It's incredibly turbulent for a departure. David G's just landed in Copenhagen. You've got time, I suppose. Or failing that, you could join us from... Let's have a look. La Rochelle. That's an option. Or Nantes. Or even Bordeaux. That will give you some time to kind of prepare for the flight, if that's the sort of thing that works for you, maybe. Coast down there, extending down through Devon and Cornwall. Plymouth will be underneath that cloud over there somewhere. Dan says, surprised the 900ER fits into Gibraltar. Max auto brake, full reverse. Will get her in. It's got to be a very accurate touchdown though. Can't float it. Can't flare too long. Just thought actually we're doing flight level 350 for cruise, aren't we? Not 37. Good afternoon, David. I hope you're well. Which way are we landing on the rock? Which way are we landing on the rock? That's a good question. Runway 27. Kenny, welcome, buddy. Thanks for subscribing. Ian, they should still be there fishing out MPS's MPS Gaming's aircraft from before. Look at these. Look at the wind. Playing havoc with our indicated airspeed. If we land on the rock, I'll try and land near to the cable cars so we can just step off and then go down the rock on the cable cars because they're animated. Carl's saying, I remember seeing the wingtips flexing, but do they wibble like that? They're not as springy as, say, the wings on the A320neo. If you're enjoying today's live stream, as always, those of you who watch all the time know the drill. Make sure you click the like button at some point today. Give us a little thumbs up. And if you are not yet subscribed, perhaps tuning in for the first time, welcome. It's good to have you on board with us. Please do hit the shiny red button down below. little glimpses down there of Aerosoft's North Sea expansion, because it also reaches round to the English Channel as well. Does elements of the Bristol Channel too. If we were flying over that way, we would have seen a few bits there as well. And now it's making me wonder what else is around. So let's see. There we are. Yeah, a couple of ships, which is nice having them scattered around, because it just, as we've said before, gives it a little bit of light, a little bit of life to what is ordinarily just a lot of blue sea down below. As usual, I'll pop our screenshots into Volanta so you can see those. They'll end up in Discord as well, of course. And to be fair, actually, there's something quite spectacular about some of these screenshots today. They look fantastic. I reckon Rab's in the caravan. So he turned off at taxiway Delta at Gibraltar this morning. And he earlier said he was Category B aeroplane. What we got? Volanta, let's have a little look. So, that was our departure. Look at that, it looks so professional, it's unreal. So departing runway heading, a little bit of a wiggly backtrack there as well. There's Zato about to depart, 737-900. We've got Ian, 2472. Oh, there's loads of screenshots. Volanta's screenshot system seems to be working a bit better now. That's a great screenshot. Ergi as well in his MD-80, Dubrovnik Airlines. Brits with a screen grab. Oh, that's me taking off. Very exciting. After departure, then we hit Alicum, and then we began to turn right over Hawkeland as well with that that screenshot there. Look at that. The colours are fantastic. Passing just over Exmouth slightly, Dawlish, Torquay, Brixham Harbour, Berryhead VOR that we passed over there. Been to Brixham actually, I didn't realise that's where Berryhead was. Of course it is. I've literally stood there with the dog. Very nice area that. These are the screenshots that I've uploaded so far. Look at the taxiway there on that freeway. Loading up the punters. And there we all are on stand ready to go. Slowly loading in that one. So Osprey 458, they're airborne. Badger's airborne. There's Osprey 919. David as well, Osprey 490. Zato Osprey 2302. Oh, epic, he's done it for X-Plane. Good work, Zato. Is that for the Zebo? Ergi. We saw his one screenshot so far. He's about to take off, I think. Oh no, that's Ian's next to depart. Oh yes, there we are. Ooh. Grabs in the longitude. Ah, you know what? That must be what we saw as the Cessna Grand Caravan. You're actually in the longitude, perhaps. Actually, no, neither did I, actually. Cesato saying that the Osprey Holidays livery or X-plane that he's painted that we saw a moment ago on a screenshot there is for the level up 737, based off the Zebo, which has all the 737 variants, including the 700, the 600, the 900ER, and the non-ER versions. Cool. Jordan says, is there an FT Sim sound pack for the 900ER? Do you really need one? The sounds are quite nice. Rab. Yeah, of course, buddy. Yeah, no worries. Oh, so the Cessna 208 was there. Love it. You probably thought, what on earth is Exeter doing so busy all of a sudden? .79 tons of fuel left in those centre tanks. The wind's still choppy as anything. Now a crosswind. Ashley, it's still a work in progress, Artist said yet, so it's not yet finished. Once it's uploaded, it will be on the British Avgeek website on the X-Plane liveries page, and also in the liveries tab in our Discord server too. Where's our next waypoint's at Delog, my goodness. Ooh, we're about to be buzzed. Aircraft going in the opposite direction. Almost a cruise. He's going to be 1,000 above in a moment. Hopefully not a balloon. If not, what I'll do is I'll just tickle it. I'll slice it with one of the wings. Get it popped. It's an EasyJet. God, look at that. Closing speed of about 1,000 knots for us both passing. That's incredible. David says you're going to catch Gav going towards Gibraltar. Should we do Mach 80? Should we try and get there before then? To be fair, there's enough stands. Hopefully they park away a little bit. We don't catch them up. Have some saying Gibraltar Towers online. My goodness. That'd be interesting because they are military controllers on VATSIM, basically. We'll give them time to fire that up. En route, Ashley. Where did David say he was loading in? Samuel 738 is at Bordeaux, so you could go from Bordeaux, perhaps. Try and sort of time it so you cut in behind us, or you could fly out of fly out of Nantes, Nantes. And then by the time you've set up, no idea what the... Oh, LFRS, there we go, thanks David. Oh yeah, so Gibraltar is it's an RAF station, RAF Gibraltar. And obviously because of the political issues with Spain, it's an RAF station effectively. So the controllers on VATSIM have to be military certified on the network to be able to in order to sort of control the airfield there. There are two types of arrivals into Gibraltar. There's civil arrivals, which is what we're flying today, and then there are military arrivals as well for the fast jets and things, and the A400M and the C-17s that fly in and out every now and again. Runway 27 for an approach gives us a slightly easier arrival routing, to be fair. A bit of a steeper descent initially though, but we effectively are just going to be flying a straight in approach from 270 degrees all the way into Gibraltar. And there are little things like the little things like this I love about Gibraltar. So it could be quite tough to kind of fly into and out of here at times anyway, at the best of times because of the weather, but now they have slightly convoluted arrivals which make us have to work it all out ourselves. So last time we flew in via RDPresets, and then we flew in the civil aircraft arrival with a sweeping approach into runway 09 with that flashing yellow buoy. However, now we are going to be expecting runway 27, so civil arrivals. None of these either really kind of help us. Pimos is where we're going to transition through, so we're going to be at Pimos, flight level 65. From there, we're going to head to Upmup 3000, and then runway 27, we're going to fly inbound straight into 27. It doesn't even give us a heading or anything there, because effectively we're going to turn inbound to the fields, and then we fly a visual approach, which looks like that. And in this, of course, we then have to turn the auto thrust off, the autopilot off, we have to hand fly it. 3 ways of controlling the aeroplane: pitch, so power, attitude and trim. Similar to a PA-28 really. And there's a whole lot of information here for missed approach. Climb to 4000, heading as directed by radar. Warnings for turbulence, wind shear, bird strike hazards. Road crossing the runway as well being unique, and departure minimums, visibility 1000 meters at the runway threshold. If we have a surveillance radar approach to runway 27, then it's going to be this instead, and that's where they basically talk us down into the airport. But this is one of my favourite charts into Gibraltar, the wind shear. So you have to take the METAR, which currently shows the winds at 290 degrees at 13 knots. So therefore the main wind direction is 290. Well, it's nearest to this, but it's not. It's kind of coming in straight across that way. But if it sweeps around towards 250 degrees by the time we arrive, we can expect on final approach updrafts, downdrafts, basically a lot of turbulence on short final, which is going to be chaotic at the best. That can make things very hairy very quickly. Downdrafts especially, because we're going to be flying low, that's going to push us down towards the water. So we're going to sink as we fly through the downdraft, and the more powerful that is, the more severe that will become. We might then get wind shear warnings, which is toga, climb away, get away from the hazards. And then we have an updraft on short final, which, as we're thinking about flaring, then pushes us back into the sky. So it's people have to do that for real. What on earth? Sounds great fun for those of us who love flying, i.e. all of us lot. People like my other half who hate flying, they would literally, I'd be sitting there looking at the whites of their knuckles as they grip through the seat in fear. Dan Epic, 14 arrivals due. How many crashes did we have last time we flew into Gibraltar? Was it 1 or 2? I think it was 2 crashes, wasn't it? Gab won his pea soup sticker. One guy became a submarine last time. Sure did. LXGB. Let's see if they've got an ATIS generated again. Still no. That's fine. Theodore wants to see the Osprey Airways Holidays livery. Of course you can. There it is, in all her glory. It's available for the 737-900ER, which is this, and the 737-800. Docs, no worries. To be fair, I mean, we've been planning this since kind of yesterday evening, so I'm hoping the others may have disconnected by the time we arrive. Oh, no ATIS. Tyres on loan for 30 minutes, no ATIS. Fair enough. We'll just have to wing it, won't we? I mean, we've got a bit of a task ahead to try and get this stopped on the ground, that's for sure. It's big, it's heavy. It flies the approach 10-15 knots faster than the A320, which can make it really hairy. And because we will likely be hand flying the approach, if we do a go around at Gibraltar for updrafts, downdrafts, wind shear and stable approach, whatever the reason might be, we basically will have to advance the throttle all the way to toga ourselves manually. So we'll manually control the throttle and the yoke throughout the missed approach. Fritz is airborne. It's a very bumpy takeoff, isn't it? How's the butt kicker? Someone else said their butt kicker was was working wonders on departure. Exactly. You know what? That's why these are the sort of scenarios that I love flying the 737. It's an actual genuine challenge. How's our merry line of pilots? Badger leading the front, flying offline. Ourselves, David, Osprey 490, Osprey 458. We've got Zato, Osprey 2306, Ian 2472. We've got Dubrovnik Airlines, 2 Papa Lima. Ergi flying as well in the MD82 that's just got airborne. Brits as well, Osprey 804 Foxtrot. I can see Rab down there as well in this C700. So that's those of us flying on VATSIM, that's all of us up now. And we stretch from the Bay of Biscay all the way through back to Exeter. That's how long the line goes today. Very cool. Brian, thank you, buddy. There's the METAR from Brian in the live chat for Gibraltar. So winds 290 at 13 knots, few clouds 4,500, scattered cloud 2,500, 25,000 feet, sorry. Temperature 17 degrees Celsius, dew point 7 degrees Celsius, QNH 1012, no significant changes expected in the next 2 hours. And then the question I'm probably going to get in a moment is, what does blue mean? And blue is basically one of the military METAR codes that you will come across. So because, as we mentioned before, Gibraltar is an RAF station, effectively an RAF airfield with civil traffic flying into it and using it as a passenger hub. It has military METARs as well. So blue is visibility 8 kilometers or more, lowest cloud 2,500 feet above ground level. White, visibility 5 kilometers. Lowest cloud 1,500 feet above ground level. Green, visibility 3.7 kilometers. Lowest cloud at 700 feet above ground level. Obviously it then gets worse and worse. So yellow then is 1.6 viz. Lowest cloud 300 feet AGL. Amber, visibility 0.8 kilometers. Lowest cloud 200 feet AGL. Red, visibility less than 800 meters. Black, not usable for other reasons. So if the runway is black, usually there's been a crash or debris on the runways, temporarily closed, that sort of thing. Drew, far away. No question is a stupid question. Elk, hello to you, flying. Yeah, once you guys get down Elk, the I can't even say it without a straight face, without keeping a straight face. Once Elk lands, the professionals will be coming in. Old Drew says, how do you take screenshots for Volanta? Oh, Elk. Well, we did mention it yesterday on Discord. We were planning it since about, I think, 6 PM yesterday. So, Drew, hopefully you've got Volanta up, and then I'll talk through the steps. I can't show it because it will give away various bits of information on my user account, basically, but click on the top right, the little cog that says settings. Once you've done that, scroll down to a tab that says flight settings. There's a bit that says screenshots. Click that, and then you want to set a watched folder, so the location where your screenshots go. And then it's a question of how you use your how you take screenshots normally on the on your system. So for me, it's Windows G to bring up the Xbox gaming thing, and then I click the little camera icon. It will take the screenshot for me. There's the center tanks off. Just double check that as well, make sure it has cleared away. We've burnt all the fuel out of the center tanks now. All good, Elk. Good to see you anyway. Thanks for tuning in. Airnot says, love Exeter Airport. It's like a bus stop. Ryanair flying out of there now, I believe. David G's airborne as well, out of Nantes. Very good. Nice timing as well. You've done well to turn around that quick. Ian says, I'm looking forward to an early night tomorrow. It was going to be tonight, but impromptu stream. Sorry, it is so late for you. Peapod Dolphin says just spotted Heathrow for Gibraltar, Speedbird 7-2. Hoping to catch up sometime, was busy on the ground, my goodness. To be fair actually, sequence-wise, if you do Mach 80 and Fritz is doing Mach 79, you'll slowly catch up. And you'll only be a few minutes behind Fritz. Found you, A321neo. Very nice. Oh, here's a question for you, Elk. What are your cruise speeds? You doing Mach 7.8 in the Airbus by any chance? Fly Tim, hello buddy, welcome. No worries at all. Gonna fly the route offline shortly, fingers crossed on the PC today. I know, you know, well, fingers crossed on the energy network around where I currently live. Yesterday we had a power cut at a really inconvenient time. It wasn't too inconvenient though, in the sense, you know, we at least managed to land, get shut down on stand, and begin to look around the airport until, you know, then we had a power cut. Fired the sim back up, fired everything, and then continued our little preview of Berlin-Brandenburg's update coming today. Yes, Hank, that's the one. So saying, are the centre tanks used first? Yes. Presuming the other tanks are on the wing, and is there a reason for this? I think it's just down to balancing. If, for example, the aircraft took all of the fuel out of the wing tanks first, and it took it out the left wing first, the aeroplane would become imbalanced and we wouldn't be able to fly, basically. So by taking it out of the centre tanks, it gives us that stability and it doesn't change our centre of gravity too much. That weather is so funky. Arco, hello, saying I missed the start. Any pricing and release information for the new scenery? So it's releasing on the 25th of February. Don't know about pricing yet. I'm hoping in a short while RDPresets will join the live chat as we arrive at Gibraltar and might be able to answer that as a question. Flight Sim says, I've downloaded Volanta last night. What does the Navigraph authorization do? It allows you to put in, let me show you. It allows you to put in things like the air rack. So if you go to map settings, load nav data, and it's going to take a moment. It will load. There you go. You can load nav aids, fixes, upper airways, prescribed tracks as well for the nat tracks, various labels for things. And also you can then use the browser tab to access the charts as well. There's our route. If we zoom out, there's our chain of pilots flying up here. Depot Dolphin was there out of Heathrow. He's actually fitting in behind Fritz nicely, to be fair. And David, Osprey 169, is out of Nantes as well. Though, David, you might have to do a bit of work to try and fit in with the queue of pilots. If we're landing on 27 as well, we're going to need that decent backtrack on the runway. Chris is taking too many good screenshots today. I feel like the system is working a bit better today, is in Valanta itself. Here's Fritz's screen grabs. Flying Osprey holidays as well. Oh, nice. Looks like you've got the Aerosoft North Sea stuff as well. And that should be Berry Head and Brixham, if I'm not mistaken. Rig down there. That's a cool picture. Yes, very cool. There's an Osprey Executive Boeing business jet there too. Very nice. Ah, got one on the climb out. Oh, there's loads. Good work. How's Hergy coming on? He's still only taking the one. Ian's taking a few. God, we turned Exeter really busy, didn't we? David, Osprey 169, there he is. He's out of Nantes. There we are. Oh, nice. He's flying the old school gold livery. The Flubbar A32NX. Love it. Depot Dolphin was... There he is. Osprey 7... sorry, Speedbird 72. No screenshots yet. Oh, Doc, not good. AJ Finani says central gravity weight shift from fore to aft, answering Ank's question about wing tanks, the way they get used. Old Drew's landed at WAG, runway 27, one of the best sceneries on approach I've seen so far. What's WAG? Brian, yeah. Will we taxi off and go and park on the port? So that's somebody else going across, so we should see, perhaps... There he is, there's the contrails. Right off in the distance. And that is Easy 1-5 Golf, off to Luton. On the network. Delog, fuel-wise, we need 6.9 tonnes. So we need to consider that carefully. I'm trying to remind myself for that as well. That's pretty much the halfway point as well when we reach that. Got here. Yes. Actually. I like their wing views. When we get to Gibraltar, I know the weather is changing all the time there at the moment, but it's telling us flap 30 would be sufficient with a landing altitude of 50 feet on the pressurization panel. An auto brake max will get us stopped with a margin of 696 meters left. Auto brake 3 will get us stopped with a margin of 245 meters left. So I'll probably do, that's showing in orange, I'd probably do auto brake 3 and full reverse, and then revert to manual brakes if I feel like we need to slow down quicker. Then we'll go right to the bottom, turn around at the big circle turnaround point, bottom of runway 27, and we'll backtrack to vacate. And it would take around 4 minutes. Afternoon, Helicopter Hugh, welcome. AJ Fernandi, yeah, the default Gibraltar is nice. So that in itself gives RDPresets a bit of a test. They've got to really pull something mega out of the bag, and there's already things that I've seen that I've been quite impressed by. So there is a file, for example, that you can move, depending on what aircraft you're flying. Basically, you can move sim objects folder for each relevant aeroplane to replace the one that's active in the scenery, and that then tells the scenery if you're flying inbound or if you're flying outbound, when you've got your beacon on or if you've got your strobes active, the road crossing at the border gets closed. So there are vehicles that are driving across that at all times. By turning the beacon on or flying inbounds with beacons on and things, strobes depending on the aeroplane in use, it will close that runway crossing so we don't get vehicles crossing at the time we're flying in and actually using the runway, which is quite cool. They've got the cable car going up and down the rock. That's modelled. They've done the port as well. I'm currently digging around at the moment to try and find. There we go. Gibraltar General Support. Oh, I don't have permission to view. I was kind of hoping we could see what was included. But there's a lot of stuff to explore. Hoagie says, are you planning to check the updated Bergen scenery? It was updated about a week or 2 weeks ago, I think. I don't think it's been updated since. Runway 27 ran today. The terminal looks good as well, Brian, to be fair. When we arrive there, the apron looks quite nice. And you'll see on approach how busy it looks as well. As we're kind of flying in on runway 27, we're going to have the rock on the left, the terminal on the right, and then further down the runway on the left we'll have the port and all the buildings around the port and all that, and you'll see all of that as we fly in. And you'll then, those of you who are familiar with the default Gibraltar that's included in MSFS, you'll see the difference between the two. It's quite different, to be fair. So that's the only caveat, I think, AJ. It's only in relation to our aeroplane. So if we were to park up, for example, I think we'll test it when we get there. If we were to park up and then turn the beacon off in the 737, the gates, the road will open again, and we'll have vehicles driving back across. I don't think it will then recognise the aeroplanes that are on approach on VATSIM. Absim says, I would have considered Gibraltar if it had more than 3 in real life routes. Well, Virtual Airlines fly there as well. I know it's in real life you're saying there, but... It's a very small, unique airport, isn't it? In real life you've got two flights from by EasyJet, Bristol and Gatwick, and then you have a service from Heathrow running at the moment as well. In the summer they tend to kind of ramp up a little bit more as well, so you get a few more routes from Manchester and a few other airports into Gibraltar. Jet Fighter, welcome on board. Nice one. Absim's favourite tune. Ah yes, Jetfighter, Easy 76 Mike Kilo, you are... There you are, I think I found you there. Oh, is that you? Yes, just passed over Toledo, southwest of Madrid. Oh my goodness, we're doing about 40 knots quicker than the guys in front. That we are rapidly catching up on. This is why the 737s are so much quicker. Yeah, D-Pod, absolutely. There is a tower controller online, I believe, unless they go offline. We're about to get another fly past. Contrail there. And that is TBF 4883 out of Fuerteventura for nonce. We can actually see him. There he is. Transavia. Hey, look at that! That is epic. Contrails make such a difference, don't they? Very strong wind, Jet Fighter. Yeah, we're going to be expecting some fairly turbulent conditions on short final when we fly in, just to make it that little bit trickier. And we're not flying an Airbus, so the second we let go of the controls, the aeroplane's going to do what it feels like it wants to do with physics, depending on the weather. So we might end up, for example, getting a wing drop if the weather is that turbulent. Flying in on short final, we might get a wing drop. If we let go, the wing will just keep dropping, so we have to have continuous control inputs. Yeah, log 6.9. Perfect, we are bang on fuel burn. Happy with that. Balancing's fine as well. Hello Centuria, good morning. So, we're going for this transition level 7000, NH1012. There are descent winds put in as well for our forecast later on. We can think about fixed rings as well, but obviously we need to think about arrivals first, predominantly. What we'll do is we'll wait till we get nearer to Madrid before we start worrying about putting in any other sort of arrivals and things. Yeah, so about 80 miles to Madrid. It's a great freeware VATSIM, isn't it, to be fair? Bournemouth next, Hergy says. Brian's got the latest Metar in there for us as well. Doc was hoping Durham Teesside was going to win. Ah, very swish. Gibraltar approach and tower online, Mikhail says. My goodness. Very exciting. I think this is the first time we've ever had ATC online into Gibraltar. Certainly approach and tower. My goodness, it's going to be busy on the 25th when that flies in. Whoa. There's no ATIS for Gibraltar, still Zato, unfortunately. But approach might generate one. Halfway point now. There's a holder up map, so I'm actually preempting now in a way. Holds. So we're flying in via PIMOS, and then we're going to fly into UpMap as well, which is 18.8 DME from Gibraltar's VOR, 113.6. We're expecting runway 27. Because we're using UpMap, what we're potentially going to have to do, if we all end up a bit bunched up, or if we end up a bit too close for the approach sequencing for the controllers, we might end up having to hold, and that's going to look like that on the chart. So passing up MUP, we're then going to fly outbound, kind of, we'll kind of do this teardrop entry procedure in this instance. So we'll fly up MUP, we'll then head outbound to 125 degrees, fly that first leg, and then we're going to enter it with a tracker 305, and then just stick in the hold if we need to. At or above 3000 for the hold at up MUP. So we could tune the Gibraltar VOR now, 1136, that will help us. And that's all there is really. There's no ILS approach, there's no RNAV approach anymore either. Jersey 2, it's coming. We'll do it at some point. What have we got here? Oh no, there it is, the VOR multi-mode radio. 1136. Yes, we're not even flying over Malaga. So that's all we need, literally 113.6. What we might have to do as well actually is set a course of 270. Now that's going to be confusing potentially because the VOR isn't exactly at the runway, and it's not exactly aligned with the runway heading either. Osprey 69 LXGB traffic, 757-200 pushing from stand 1. Very exciting. On Unicom. Osprey 458 said, Osprey 69, that's a nice call sign you have there. Yeah, Fritz, that's fine. You can actually insert it. So usually at Gibraltar, I haven't really checked, but it would say PMOS and then LXGB. If we were to put arrivals, LXGB, runway 27, that is all we can add. Turbulence wind shear, superpoint X-ray, surveillance radar based approach. Let's have a little look to see what that gives us. 2.8 degrees. I'll just go for 3. Yamato, hello to you. Time to watch you landing in one of the most difficult airports to land or take off from. Oh, we don't need that anyway. So PMOS. Then we have a discontinuity now from runway 27. So what we could do is add up MUP here. And it will then add an additional discontinuity. So PMOS, then 10 miles, up MUP. From here we can then add a constraint, 3,000 feet, which should give PMOS at about 6,000. If it helps, Hergy, then all you got to do is fly at Pimos, fly a track of 212 degrees, 11 miles to Upmup, and then you want to intercept. God, I'm trying to work out what radial it would be. 18.8 miles from Gibraltar. It's going to be a radial of about 0.055 sort of. It depends on the weather really, as we were talking about here. It all depends on what the weather is doing at Gibraltar because of the rock and its position with the runway. Winds now are 280 at 11 on the latest METAR. So we've got to be wary of all of this. Now, the first two, because the weather being, well, the wind being 280 degrees at 11 knots, that doesn't apply to us, neither does that one. But this one could become an issue if the winds sweep round, which they are doing, they are backing, because the previous METAR at 1320Z was 290 degrees at 13 knots. And now the latest METAR, 30 minutes later, is 280 at 11 knots. So if they, for example, when we arrive, actually back further to 250 degrees, then what we could end up getting is this on short final, with significant turbulence. Initially then becoming a downdraft, which could, could be really problematic. It could literally push us, if it's strong enough, push us down into the water on approach, and then we can get the updraft. So if we get a mild downdraft and tackle that, we then get an updraft on incredibly short final, literally as we're thinking about touching down and flaring, and that will push us further up, and that will then throw us off our approach path as well. And either of the two will likely result in a go-around if we get it wrong. We're hoping for this. This is what we're going to be expecting, a completely visual approach, runway 27. And with that in mind, as we were departing Exeter, we were talking about backtrack, and that's because as we land on 27, we're going straight past Echo and Alpha with the two exits, the taxiways to the apron. And we're going to stop, we're going to have to backtrack all the way down at 09 here, that big turning point, and then we're going to have to zoom back up here, vacate at Alpha, into the terminal. And then we've got a selection of stands at the civil apron there, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, that is it. So we might need to, some of us have parking at the south apron, some of us might have to take the north apron up here as well, as we then fill up the civil apron. The minimums for this as well, actually, are they on this chart? Wow. Visual approach chart following the radar approach. So surveillance radar approach, that's that, and then at Point Yankee it becomes the visual approach. Minimums 920 feet MDA, so let's tune that. $920. That's almost there, 859. 920. Now we can add a couple of fixed rings in to help us as well. Yeah, it's almost as difficult as flying round into Madeira, that is it runway 05 approach? It's as difficult. Atif, hello to you. I'm using the Turtle Beach Velocity 1 yoke, buddy. Right, runway 27. But actually, we want the opposite direction, so we're going to go 09, and then we want runway heading 089 degrees slash. That'll draw a big long. There we go. Big long extended centre line for us to use. We can help fly on that as a visual reference. Next page, we could do runway 27. We could continue that extended centre line the other side, 269 degrees. And we could also do a fixed ring. So based on that SRA approach, we could do 5 miles. Actually, Point Yankee is 3 miles for radar fix. So we could do 10. And 269/6. Oops. And then we'll do 3. So there's a couple of radar fixes in there as well for that SRA element. Oh, actually, I don't know, to be honest. I'd just climb away. If you're on Unicom, just climb away if you're not in anybody's way. Brian says the winds have now changed again at Gibraltar. They've picked up from 11 knots to 14 knots, same direction as before, which was 280 degrees. Was 11 knots, now 14 knots. QNH 1011. So we can pop that in the box there as well, QNH 1011. Just going to update that as well, so we've got our latest forecast put in place. Actually, you're going to find it tough in the 757-200. What else? And then landing weights. So the estimated landing weight for us is going to be 60 tons. No, it's not. 64.3 tons. (141 knots for that estimated approach speed, so flat 30. BREF of 141, adding 5, that gives us 146 knots for approach speed. We'll have to manually manage that. 1,778 meters of runway length. Means I just need to rerun the numbers on VAS Airplane Toolbox, because VAS Airplane Toolbox says full runway is 1,829, which obviously we're not going to use all of that. Order break 3 is now gone red. It says margin 176 meters. So we'll use order break 3 initially. As the speed comes off, we will then revert to manual brakes for the last bit of braking. And that's with full reverse as well, both reversers in place. 64.3 actually, hold on. 64,300. Let me rerun the numbers again. Below. 192. Yeah. But it says, oh, hold on. No, my VAS airplane toolbox is now broken. Oh, God. This is what happens when you fiddle. VAS airplane toolbox. You basically, if you're looking at the bit where it's got the runway length, Fritz, you click on it and you can then edit the field. (737-900) load. So yeah, 1829. We actually want 1778. We'll just do 1770. Landing weight 64. 300. METAR 27. Headwind of 14 knots. Yeah, there we go. So flap 30. Order brake 3 will give us a landing margin of 161 meters at the end. Water brake max gives us 622. Manual brakes gives us 881. So we use a blend of order brake 3, then we'll revert to manual brakes. Peter, welcome. Loving the new livery. Good to hear. Doc, well, that's VAS airplane toolboxes figures. In fairness, what I should probably do is actually, that's with optimal landing as well. I'm going to manually type in all of the data, including, where's ACAS? Yeah, EGTE, yeah, 27, there we go. So landing weight was 64,300. So much data to punch in. 1778. Reverses both. Flap 30. I'm going to run it with flap 40 now. Okay, so flap 40 gives us a margin of 281 meters with order brake 3 selected. And that matches as well, so it'll be a slightly slower approach speed of 137 knots. Let's do flap 40. So flap 40. 137. And we'll aim for approach speed 142 knots, 143-ish. That seems a bit safer, doesn't it? Loads of time left yet still. Ace, wow. For those of you watching in the UK, diesel at the fuel station to the right next to the runway on the Gibraltar side cost £1.17 a litre this morning. Oh. Ian's cursed. Dinesh says, for PMDG aircraft, is there a way to disable pilots sitting in the cockpit from the outside view? I don't think so. I'm not sure. I really don't know. I really don't know. Brian popped the METAR a little moment ago into the live chat. Matteo. It's a very long way to fill up, isn't it, Brian? You'd have to fill up about 6 times to actually get there to make use of the £1.17, and then fill up 3 times of going back. Exactly, Doc, but we like a challenge. Doc saying Airbus would be much easier. Just select full flap and auto brake medium. That's like the if in doubt sort of rule as well with the Airbus. If in doubt, just full flap and auto brake medium and it will get you stopped with full reverse. Job's good in. I mean, we used auto brake max the other day in this and it stopped us very, very, very quickly indeed. So I'm thinking if we do auto brake 3 this time, what it'll allow us to do is then take over the brakes as we decelerate. So where in green where it says flap 30 on VATS Airplane Toolbox, click it and it'll then give you a selection of other flap settings. Which I only just worked out because the little tab from before has disappeared with its new swanky updates. Yeah, petrol's about £1.56, £1.48-ish, depending on where you're going. That sort of range, Matteo, in the UK at the moment for petrol. Diesel's a little bit more expensive. Mark, hello to you, buddy. Yes, World Update 12 is still planned for release today, from what we understand. They've not said otherwise, but timing-wise, they tend to release it about 1600, 1700, 1800 Zulu. City United, welcome. So we should have initially radar vectors and surveillance updates, or surveillance radar approach given to us by Gibraltar Approach if they are online. Which should have us at a 10 nautical mile fix, radar vectors to Point Yankee. From Point Yankee we then go to the visual approach, and that's the 3 mile final. It says on the charts, pilots will be advised by radar at the 3 nautical mile Point Yankee visual decision point. If we are not visual with the runway at that point, we have to then execute a missed approach. Turbulence and wind shear notes for the charts. It says the unique topography of the surrounding area can give rise to severe wind effects which often affect aircraft in the final stages of flight. When the wind direction is between 110 and 250 degrees and speed in excess of 15 knots, significant turbulence should be expected during the approach and in final stages of flight to the lee of the rock. This turbulence can make landing dangerous or impossible, and aircraft captains are to approach with extreme caution in these conditions. Turbulence and gusts can often be seen on the surface of the water, a representation of the turbulence. Southwesterly winds in excess of 25 knots can lead to the formation of water spouts in the approach to runway 27, the one that we're using today. Flying over or in proximity to these water spouts have been demonstrated to be very hazardous, with rapid loss of control, severe wing drop and uncommanded change in attitude, altitude and track. Air traffic control will report all water spouts seen from the tower, but aircraft captains are to be aware that this phenomenon can establish very quickly and without warning. The road crossing the runway. Gibraltar's runway is unique in that it is crossed at the midpoint by a 4-lane public highway, including pedestrian and cycle lanes. The road is closed to pedestrians no later than 12 nautical miles and closed to vehicles no later than 8 nautical miles. This generally affords 3 minutes for the road to be cleared before the next arrival. Pod inspections of the intersection are completed prior to any movement, including jet-powered aircraft. If we execute a missed approach, we have to fly runway heading, overfly the centre of the airfield, basically, over the runway, over the top of it. Climbing to 4,000 feet. As we turn out the other side of the bay, the other side of Gibraltar, we need to fly outbound 180 degrees, then get vectors. So it's quite easy for a missed approach in the sense of we just maintain runway heading, we climb to 4,000, and basically when we can, after the harbour, we turn left, 180 degrees. Hopefully no protesters there, Tim, yes. I'll just fly through them. Keep smashing the like button, folks, while you're here. If you are enjoying it today, we've got Sam online as Gibraltar approach, very cool. And then we've got Tower online now within range of our radios, 1233. So we'll pre-tune it ready. 1233, there we go, just ready first to change across. Matteo, which chart? Ace Airstream says, as he said earlier, Speedbird 490 isn't popular as a flight because it shuts the runway just as the Spanish workers want to cross the runway, as it's the only way in or out, causing gridlock. A tunnel is being built, but it's slow progress. Rab, I'm hoping for about 6,000 at PMOS, roughly. VNAV here, I haven't changed the figures, but it says VNAV's expecting 6,107 feet at PMOS. Because I've actually asked for up at 3,000. Then we have the discontinuity in place, which we're leaving in place. So, yeah, surveillance radar approach, runway 27. Crikey, David, and the RDPresets scenery has not even been released yet. I suppose it's great in the sense that there is already a very good scenery there, so that you have the opportunity to enjoy it and have some nice visuals flying in, rather than it be a default airport for an airport that hasn't already got scenery for it. So I suppose in that sense it's quite nice. But you guys are going to be blown away when you see what RDPresets have done with Gibraltar. 8 of those from Exeter, legendary. Probably the busiest Exeter has ever been. George, welcome. Hope you're well. Thanks for tuning in today. Oh, Yamato, it'd be a med cruise. Although I'm not a fan of cruises myself. I don't like the idea of being in a massive Petri dish for 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, usually, Fritz, you'll get straight in from PMOS. You'll get turned straight in for the approach. Just a little bit of work to be done, but sometimes they might use UPMUP to help vector aircraft around. So this in there just in case. But we're expecting vectors if we've got Gibraltar approach online. Dark Fury, hello. I hope you're well. Been a long time since I've seen your name in the chat. Great to have you on board with us. Looking forward to New Zealand's World Update today, I hope. Ace Airstream. So, I can probably explain it actually using a different screen. Bear with me. Let me just bring it up. So it's inside the scenery folder. So when you get it installed, when you purchase it and download it from the RDPresets website from the 25th when it releases. I don't know if it's going to be like this all the time, but let me just switch the screens across. There we go. So now you should have a bit of a... You should see Windows anyway. You have this plane crossing controls folder included within it. And you have a sim objects folder. So because we're flying, by default it's set to the A320s, the default A320s. What you want to do, so for example today we're flying into Gibraltar with the 737, the PMDG 737-900ER series for Microsoft Flight Simulator. You go into your scenery folder, this RDPresets Gibraltar scenery pack, plane crossing controls. You then find the aircraft that you want to fly in with. So in our instance today, the PMDG 737, you right click it, copy it. Oh no, sorry, cancel that. It's unique, so you've got to get it right. So you go plane crossing controls, you click into the PMDG 737 folder if you're flying in with that particular aircraft. You then right click the sim objects folder, you copy it. You then go back to the main folder and you right click and you paste to replace this sim objects folder here. What that will then do is say to the scenery, you're flying in a PMDG 737, are you, British Av Geek? Fantastic. If your anti-collision light is on, the road is closed. So that's basically how that works in a nutshell. If you then change to fly in another time, or flying outbound with the Phoenix A320 for example, you then go back into the folder and you repeat the same process for the Phoenix A320 sim objects package instead. Doc says the LXGB ATIS is inside towers details, which I can't see. Let's see. On VPilot then, colour state blue, time 1350Z, runway 27 in use, winds 280 degrees, 11 knots, visibility 10 kilometers, few clouds, 4,500 feet. Temperature 7 degrees Celsius, QNH 1011. Aircraft asked to read back colour state and QNH on first contact. So when we call them up, it will be Gibraltar approach, and then your call sign. So for us, Osprey, my call will be something like this: Gibraltar approach, Osprey 165, Boeing 737-900ER, inbound colour state blue, inbound PMOS, and then our altitude. Alex, yeah, it will be a sim restart if you're already in the sim, although it'd be unlikely in most cases that you would fly in one aircraft, change to another and fly back out again at the same time, if that makes sense. Gibraltar radar, in their thread on VPilot says SRA, RNAV or visual approach, weather information available on request. So we don't know if we're going to get SRA or visual approach. Rab says colour state blue. What does that refer to? No, that wasn't intended to rhyme. So blue is the colour state, so military METAR colour state basically, because RAF Gibraltar is Gibraltar Airport, it's an RAF station. We spoke about it a little earlier on. It's just in relation to cloud base and visibility. So in this case, colour state blue means that the cloud ceiling is at or above 2,500 feet, visibility at or above 8 kilometers. Blue and white are VFR, everything else is IFR. That's the easiest way to think about it. If you get colour state green, then it's IFR procedures. Yellow is non-precision approach aid mandatories. Amber, ILS or PAR mandatory. Red is no takeoff or landing except in emergency. That's the easiest way to kind of sum it up from a document I've just looked at, different to what we had a little earlier on. There you go. So the best is blue, visibility 8 kilometers or more, lowest cloud 2,500 feet above ground level. So that's cloud base at or above 2,500 feet, AGL. White is visibility 5 kilometers, 5,000 meters. Clouds now drop to 1,000 feet, AGL. Green, visibility drops further, visibility 3,700 meters, cloud, lowest cloud at 700 feet, AGL. Yellow, visibility 1,600 meters, lowest cloud 300 feet, AGL. Amber, visibility is 800 meters, cloud 200 feet, AGL. Red, visibility less than 800 meters, and then black is runway closed, basically. MPS Gaming, good evening to you. Yeah, Alex, it's a good question actually. Hopefully, if RDPreset joins us towards the end of the live stream as we're flying around in here, then as we're zooming around with the drone camera into Gibraltar, what we will hopefully do is get a couple of questions answered, like price, and that question as well, Alex, in relation to, you know, if you change your aircraft or if you forget, can you just do it quickly? David says they are going to give the visual approach. Epic. Makes it extra tough in the Airbus, in the Boeing. Sorry, in the Boeing. Very, very fun indeed. So make sure we've all got 4 meters separation, folks. So Ashley, I think you're catching up very quickly with David. There's a few of us flying in. We've got to sound super pro when we arrive. The old saying go, others are listening. James, so asking about what are the emergency squawk codes. You have a few, and depending on where you are from or how you are trained, you will learn these in a different way. So the way that I was taught years ago when I was flying, well, I was training to become a flying instructor for the Air Cadets in the UK. 7,000 is VFR. That's fine, that's a normal transponder code. So your 3 emergency codes are 7500, 7600, and 7700. And if you have like an old school dialing system for the transponder, you have to turn the transponder off to change into the emergency codes and back on again. Or if you're going to cycle through any of the emergency codes, you have to turn the transponder off and on again. In our instance, if we were going to set for emergency or either of the 3, depending on what happens, you need to set each code. Now, 75 is hijack, 76 is radio failure, 77 is general emergency. The easiest way to remember that is 75 taken alive, 76 radio sticks, 77 going to heaven. That's how I was taught. So that way you will always remember your transponder codes, and then you'll know which one you will need based on the emergency scenario you find yourself in. MPS Gaming, are you flying along today? Because I'll call the Coast Guard if you are. We're going for auto brake 3 today, and then some manual braking at the end with full reverse and flat 40. And this is, I think, the biggest aircraft and the heaviest aircraft state we've flown into Gibraltar so far, so it's going to be interesting. 60 nautical miles or so to top of descent now, so we make sure we've got our data set. There's no ATIS information, but we know it's colour state blue, and we know that we're probably expecting a visual approach. That's all we need to know. METAR wise, we've got the QNH set. It's 1011. That's down there. We've got the minimum set for the visual approach, and we've got our VREF set flat 4137 for the VREF. Add 5 will give us 142 knots for our approach speed. There's the METAR again from Brian. Thank you, buddy. And I shall pin that in the chat. That's probably going to be the last one. In the arrivals tab, we've not really had to do very much. We've just basically selected runway 27, so the aircraft knows what runway we're using. There are no stars, no arrival approach procedures. From there, we're going to go PIMOS. We're expecting vectors from PIMOS, so we're not expecting necessarily to go to UPMUP unless there are holds. So I've got that put in place there just in case, and then we'll have to manually fly a hold initially before then setting one up in the FMS. We've got that intentional discontinuity from UPMUP, because from there it will be vectors to runway 27, so that's why the discontinuity has remained. And again, the missed approach, we're just going to have to manually sort that out. So it's going to be fly runway heading, climb to 4,000 feet. After the harbour, we're turning left 180 degrees track, and then vectors again. Just expect vectors is all it says. Landing elevation. Airport elevation is 12 feet, so therefore we set that to 0. That's good. That's all fine. That's all looking good. We've popped in our fix information, so we've extended the centre lines, and we've added in a couple of fix rings to help with that surveillance raced approach. 10 miles, 6 miles and 3. And we got the VORs for Gibraltar tuned 1136 as well. 270. .269 is actually what we want. That potentially will be misleading for a course, because we're going to have that displayed on the nav display in addition to our extended centre line, which is already visible there, so we're just going to have to be wary of that. Water break 3 is what we're going for today, so that is set, and we're going to do a master caution check. Ollie, welcome on board, thanks for subscribing, great to have you with us, hope you're enjoying it. Make sure you click the like button, folks, while you're here. We will begin our descent very shortly into RDPresets Gibraltar Airport, scenery releasing on the 25th of Feb. Andy, yeah, big surprise stream. We planned it last night loosely, yeah, unexpected. Wasn't meant to be streaming today. And then I couldn't hold for long enough for the RD preset preview, so I had to do it. Right, back. Delivery. Flight Tech Media, thank you for subscribing as well. And Kenil, earlier on I might have missed those, sorry if I did. Thank you to everybody who hits likes so far as well. Rabs off for a quick lube, right? Nervous we. David's popped a screenshot as well. Oops. screenshot up there as well. Oh, have you got the flight test package on as well, David? That's the Boeing flight test pack thing inside the FMS, isn't it? The little feathery thing on the tail. Okay, over Cordoba now. I have no idea what to expect with this approach. Not done it in this aeroplane before. It's going to be interesting. Yes, actually that's a good point. So for those of you who haven't already done that, might be worth having a little look. So aircraft equipment. Page 13, performance improvement, and if you're in the 900ER, that's fine, that's default. We already have the short field package, which is great. However, what you then need to check, if you're in, say, for example, the 737-800 or the 700 or the 737-600, there's airports like this and Skiathos as well and Samos, you need to make sure the short field package is enabled. This is a little sort of side point. We shall set 6. I know, MPS Gaming, crazy isn't it? First time having ATC into Gibraltar, I think. In fact, yeah, I missed Ollie saying as well, I was the guy on Keflavik Tower yesterday, wondered why there was so much traffic. Sorry couldn't stay on for long, I had college on the hour. No worries, Ollie, I appreciate it though. Appreciate you trying to get connected, get online for us, it's really kind. I'm sure we'll be back another time. Crikey, MPS, there aren't enough stands, are there? My goodness. Awesome, Ollie, thank you. Ray Sanchez. I don't think I've ever heard of him, James, to be honest. I don't watch many streamers outside of streaming myself because I'm either then looking after the dog, walking the dog, doing house stuff, or working. Crikey, look at the speed there, it's almost went into V&E. Nav is active. Ian says you have an aircraft just off your nose. As in up or down? Unless it's on Volanta, and then it will be that'll be Badger. The descent has begun indeed. No, I can't see them. Oh, yeah, phew. James, good question. It just depends on time differences and all that sort of thing, really. Can we call Gibraltar approach at this point? I don't think technically we can, because we're still in Spanish airspace. Ogro, probably going to be a good point to call them. 2 decel points there. What's up, Mup? That's fine. Oof. Dan. That's not good. Happened to me the other day in Oslo. Nothing more frustrating. The new Orbex Oslo for me at the time there. That something there crashed the sim for me. Right, so I'm going to tune now at on Marbella to the approach frequency and just begin to listen. That's one more stand available anyway. Oof. Was that from the weather then, Dan? Can we see it yet? Can we see the rock? There she is. Our first glimpse of Gibraltar. Tiny little rock at the end. Let's go check it out. Famous last words. Still descending to... There we go, through flight level 210 at the moment. Speed's good at 290. Cost index is 50, so we're descending a little bit quicker than we ordinarily would otherwise. And spectacular views on the way in as well. Yeah, I've never been featured on that, Andy. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. They tend to just take people's Twitch videos, I think, rather than, obviously I don't bother with Twitch. Twitch for creators is pretty bad. I think it's pretty nasty, some of the contract terms, which is why I don't bother with it. Plus, you guys all tune in on YouTube. You enjoy watching me live on YouTube and watching the content and stuff. I don't want to then move across to Twitch and A, start a game, but B, you guys feel like you're neglected. Being sort of shunned away a little bit, so I avoid Twitch. Hey, I'm happy with YouTube. YouTube's good. It works, at least most of the time. Dan says, you also don't show your face yet, very true, or use a talking dog overlay. Don't know who does, but... Oh, so that, I mean, there's a prime example with the Fenix app, and I've talked about that before. I've always been concerned about what happens if the Fenix app suddenly drops the connection to the aeroplane that's in the sim, and there you go, prime example, you just crash. And that, I think, for a payware add-on is pretty messy, to be fair. Touch wood, I haven't had that happen to me yet in the Fenix. Hopefully never will. There'd be nothing more frustrating. Let's get those VORs on.
Captain, you have an incoming direct message.
Here we go. Gibraltar approach, good afternoon, Osprey 165, Boeing 737-900ER with colour state blue, inbound Ogro, descending flight level 130.
Osprey 165, Gibraltar radar, squawk 6477.
Squawk 6477 for Osprey 165.
Osprey 165, expect vectors visual approach runway 27, descend 5190.
Expect vectors visual approach runway 27 and descend to flight level 90, Osprey 165. There's a lot going on there for me at once. Start to bring the speed off. So, seats ready. Get our wing flex. Giggity giggity. Such a long aeroplane, isn't it, when you see it in that kind of camera view. And off in the distance, just in the view off ahead, is Gibraltar. Get rid of the music for now as well, and I'm going to get my charts up so I don't mess anything up there. There's all our fixed rings that we put in.
Osprey 165, leaving control airspace into 4 miles, deconfliction service outside.
We'll go deconfliction service outside of controlled airspace for Osprey 165. So that's kind of BFR-y. What that means basically, guys, is, for those of you who don't know, is he will give us vectors to avoid traffic and assist with traffic avoidance, basically. Sam, hello buddy, saying that's livery's got to be one of the best of all the Osprey ones, so clean. It's going to be great through summer as well. Andy, very nice.
Gibraltar radar, good afternoon, Osprey 490.
I think I called him Gibraltar approach, didn't I? Whoops. I meant to say Gibraltar radar. Quick check of the overhead.
Color state blue and QNH 1011.
Osprey 490 Gibraltar radar vectoring analysis. Cushion vectoring is visual approach runway 27, squawk 4426.
4426, Osprey 490.
Water brake 3 is set. Briefed.
Osprey 165, descent of altitude 2,000 feet, QNH 1011.
Send altitude 2,000 feet, QNH 1011, Osprey 165. Yeah, landing altitude pressure, that's the closest I can get set, 0. Right, Tim says, can we have the Osprey Holidays livery for the 737-700? It's available for the 800. I need to get some other liveries out as well through Damo, like the things like the Mad Dog, for example. There are things that kind of we need to get done before we can then begin to expand stuff that we've already got doing. Already got sort of liveries for. $1,400. Just watching that speed tickle up there. We're descending on idle. Morning, Chinook. Welcome. Gonna let that go to 205, I think now. So let's go flight to 10. Bring that range ring in again.
Osprey 165, sliding cushion sliding 210 degrees.
Heading 210 degrees, Osprey 165. Speed through 235 is in limits. Arco, yeah. Yes. So we're going to extend now to, where's the airport? It's down here, isn't it? There's the airport. Going to go flap 2, just to kind of help get a little bit of drag on the airframe, help with our descent in. Michael, welcome buddy. Avsim's pushback from Malaga. Bring that range ring to 10. Get control visualizer.
Osprey 490,
Up.
descent flight 190.
Descent flight level 900, Osprey 490.
Flap 5.
Osprey 165, turn right heading 280 degrees.
Right, 280 degrees, Osprey 165. They're being vectored.
Osprey 165, radar control.
Radar control, Osprey 165. This is awesome. Lap 10.
Gibraltar radar.
In a moment.
Osprey 490. I just got a message to contact you, but I believe we're already in contact, right?
I haven't sent to contact me.
Tower online, 11312.
Has the sent you a contact me?
Yeah. Yes, we did.
Okay, ignore them.
Roger.
One 1312. That's tower. Okay. It's cabin crew seats for landing time.
Gibraltar approach, Osprey 458 with you, level 220.
At some point, James, I will, yeah.
Sorry, 458, Gibraltar radar contact severe control on the 133.35.
We're flat 10 now as we're making our way in. There's the rock rendering in, part of the scenery.
Osprey 165, turn right by 10 degrees.
Right 10 degrees, Osprey 165. Coming up to 10 miles now. So this is a surveillance radar approach, folks, where the controller is, well, it's radar vectors basically to final approach. That's the simplest way to do it. When you hear the words radar service, it's when you're getting vectors and things like that. Traffic deconfliction is a different type of service.
Osprey 165, field at 11 o'clock, 13 miles, point in sight.
Yeah, bought in sight for Osprey 165.
Osprey 165, cleared to visual approach, runway 27, number 1.
Clear visual approach 27, number 1, Osprey 165. Mars, gear down flat 15. Brab, no they don't, because Gibraltar is
Osprey 165,
English.
contact Gibraltar Tower, 131.2, bye-bye.
Gibraltar Tower 131.2 for Osprey 165, thanks ATC.
Gibraltar Tower, speedbird 383, requesting push and start, please.
Gibraltar Tower, hello again, Osprey 165 is inbound 8 miles, visual approach 27. Okay, let's do it. Auto thrust. Gibraltar Tower, Osprey 165, ready to check.
Osprey 165, speedbird 383, currently on the ground at Gibraltar, because you might have lost the tower.
And I think the audio client died. I do apologise. I'm back with you.
Yeah, Roger, Gibraltar Tower, you got Osprey 165, currently 6 mile visual approach, final runway 27.
I guess I'm calling in the area you were blocked to say call sign only.
Osprey 165.
Upper 165 about the tower, I know. Confirm your landing gear is down.
Sorry, say again, Osprey 165.
Confirm wheels are down.
A firm, wheels down, and 5 mile final, 27.
Thank you. Guidance, Bravo 6, Exeter 165. Service wind 277 degrees 13 up from the 27 clear land.
Runway 27 cleared land, Osprey 165.
And Gibraltar Tower,
Lap
speedbird
40.
383, requesting push and start, please.
142, missed approach is brief.
383, pushing start approved, split.
269. 4,000 set for missed approach. Recycle the
split pushback.
flight directors there. Brian's popped the meta into the live chat. Now our first glimpse of RDPresets Gibraltar scenery for Microsoft Flight Simulator, including the rock, folks, as well. Look at that. Is it Dan? I actually couldn't understand what he was saying initially.
Approaching minimums.
I hope the runway road is closed.
Minimums.
Continue. We've got flaps green, gear down 3 lock to green. Reverse. Green. Decelerating. Yes, thank you for the claps. $80 knots. Chinook, why would he ask if the wheels are down? It's just one of the Gibraltar things, but I actually couldn't hear what he said initially. Minus 139 foot per minute, I'll take that.
Okay, 165, welcome to Gibraltar. Enter backtrack, runway 09 and taxi left on Alpha, stand number 1.
Backtrack 09, vacate left Alpha, stand 1, Osprey 165, thanks for having us.
And thanks for flying.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your destination. For your safety and the safety of those around you, please remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened and keep the aisles clear until the aircraft is parked at the gate and the engines have been switched off. The captain will then turn off the fasten seatbelt sign indicating it is safe to move around the cabin. Please use caution when opening the overhead compartments and removing any items, since items may have shifted during the flight. You may now switch on any electronic devices.
That's fine, I've got to leave those on actually.
Whether you arrive
APU.
at home or abroad, we hope you have
stand by, I'll play back.
Osprey Airways.
Stand by, Speedbird 3.
Crossing the road.
Quebec 383, taxi, do you have Bravo 1 on your scenery?
Taxi Alpha 1 on our scenery for Speedbird 303.
Laps finally up.
So what's that if you do have Bravo 1?
Taxi for holding the first holding point for runway 27 for
Here we go.
303.
Yeah, I was just wondering, do you have Bravo 1? It's a new waypoint, I don't know whether you might have it on your scenery. So are you able to confirm you do have Bravo 1?
Yeah, so the way Gibraltar operates is a little bit more akin to military airfield more than anything else. There's no GSX profile available for it just yet. So we will be our own marshallers. There's a 739 whole point. Look at those apron textures. Bingo. Like a pro pilot. Okay, up here, they're all good. Check the APU gen. That's fine. isolation valve open. They're both on automatic. Engine bleeds off. AP bleed is on. That's all set there. Taxi lights and all the lights there are all off. And finally, engine cut off. As the anti-collision lights, we turn that off. We turn it off. Add that chocks.
Tower Osprey 490, visual 27.
And now, David doesn't see this.
VATSIM 067, ready to taxi.
We've opened the road crossing here.
Gibraltar Tower Osprey 490, short final.
David, say wheels down. See if he kicks in there.
Osprey 490, missed.
Ah. You are readability 5. Oh, he's gone offline. Bugger. Don't know what the tower guy is doing today. Right, so what we'll do, we've got a couple of Osprey pilots flying in. We shall watch them fly in first. We'll leave our anti-collision light on at the moment to keep the beacon light on and keep that traffic off the runway effectively. But this is Gibraltar. Readability 5.
Thank you. I think the VATSIM service is blowing up.
Little interior.
And Gibraltar Tower, speedboat 33. Look, we can confirm we do have that on the scenery, so we can taxi to Bravo 1.
Thank you, come by Osprey 490 on frequency.
Yes, sir, I went missed, didn't get a response.
Yeah, I did reply to you on text. You should have checked your chat box. But turn left 180, climb
Yeah,
4,000 feet.
I never check text on final approach. You just can't.
4,000 feet, Osprey 490. Roger, I did.
Osprey 490, contact Gibraltar radar on 123.3.
123.3, Osprey 490. See you in a minute.
Lots of little details here. A lot of work gone into the scenery, actually, to be fair.
383, I do apologise for the flight service.
Oh no, Ram, it's fine. It's the VATSIM servers are a little bit playing up.
Taxi Bravo, holding Bravo 1.
These things happen.
And no worries.
So, great, we've got ATC actually. Really appreciate it if you are watching, guys.
Put in the chat box and I'll reply via text.
So this is effectively the border. And the airport terminal building. Ramses, can we have a look at the tunnel short of the runway? Whereabouts is that?
688 under 67 taxi Bravo or Bravo 1.
Ace, we've got our anti-collision light on, so because of that, we've held the traffic back because we've got a load of people flying in, so it will look really weird otherwise. Brits Holdings at Pimos. A little bit of an interior worked in here.
Okay, and guide again, that's it. Okay, then ready to check.
Readability 5.
Oh, thank goodness.
I think everybody's having one of those days. I think that guy was proposing in the scenery.
And speedboat 33, just going to hold here for 1 minute and just run a couple of checks.
There's the security line.
Right, this is 067, ready to taxi. Oh,
If you get to
taxi Bravo,
67 taxi Bravo or Bravo 1.
What else have we got here? Let me just zip around. Oh, nothing on final. So externally as well, looking further out, they've added in, must be, all the football fields on the Spanish side of the border.
Quebec
I think
383,
that
5 service wind 220 degrees 15 knots, number 27, clear takeoff.
that must not be included in the scenery by default. Off in the distance as well, they've got lots of ships, oil tankers, that sort of thing, and the harbour littered full of boats and seafaring traffic. Fishing vessel as well. Let's keep exploring the terminal. Not yet, David. We're waiting on our guys to land, and then we can explore the other side of the airport. It's the motorhome air near the marina there. Whereabouts is the tunnel, folks? If I was to go and look for the tunnel, where would I need to look? Badger, that's fine. It's not bad. Left. Before the threshold to the sea. Gotcha. You know what? We'll go over there then now. Once we've done this bit of the terminal. Look at that. Much better than the default. That you can see in is very nice as well, and you've got people on the sort of gangway terracey bit that are looking out, and you can actually pop into the departures lounge. There's the Corendon. There's our Osprey Holidays. The best virtual airline livery. It'd be nice to see when a custom GSX profile comes, having passengers walk through sort of those little gangway bits. That would be quite nice. I'm tempted to try that actually today, post stream. Just spend an hour trying to configure that profile. Got 2 aircraft holding, in fact, there. Well, let's go and find that tunnel. In fact, it must be this. Yeah, it must be that, surely. Going off and around the edge of the runway.
667, fire, echo, 9 up, runway 27.
I think the VATSIM servers are struggling today.
Jet 67.
This J67 with you.
Fire echo, 9 up, runway 27.
No, David, I'm the same. I don't look at vPilot text client, to be honest.
9 up, runway 27, Mr. J0.
Ever. It's hidden behind my sim, actually, when I'm flying on VATSIM. I just don't ever check. PMOS, still holding at PMOS. Oh, my goodness. They've got a couple departing, that's probably why. They're getting the departures out, perhaps.
Quebec 383, contact Gibraltar radar 123.3. Bye-bye. Quebec 383, contact Gibraltar radar 123.3. Bye-bye.
123.3 for Gibraltar radar. Thanks very much for the great service. Be about 383.
Have fun. Bye-bye.
Yeah, Ace, I guess it's just one of those things that you kind of have to have a little bit of creative license for, I think, to show that it's a construction site.
Clear to take off, runway 27, Mr. J067.
See how quick his takeoff run is.
The tower of the 458 is inbound runway 27.
Copy 458.
My God.
Gibraltar Tower Hangar.
Paid whole runway.
Wheels
Use
are
whole
down.
runway. So the controller is asking if your wheels are down.
Confirm your wheels are down.
The gears are down right now for of the 458.
Of the 458, thank you. Service wind 270 degrees 15 knots. Runway 27, clear to land.
Clear to land runway.
I thought it was going to overrun, to be honest.
Of the 458.
Ticket get 067, 10 F180.
Sounds like that citation jet is just blasted out and just continued anyway.
Ticket get 67.
Centre of the screen is an aircraft holding.
Vista Jet 067.
One coming in.
067, stand by.
Yeah, I think that Learjet thing has just gone straight.
I don't understand, sir. Can you type, please?
Stand by.
So yeah, it's very political.
Ticket get 067, 10 080 degrees.
There are very strict political things with Gibraltar and the airspace in real life. So after takeoff, you pass the harbour and then you turn left 180 degrees and you fly over the water before being vectored out and then handed off to severe radar, I think it is, or whoever it is that controls the Spanish side of the airspace.
And the flat call sign. Continue first way 27, you are number 2.
Continue pushing number 2, please.
Ticket 67, contact Gibraltar radar 123.3.
123.3.
Correct, Ram, yeah.
7. Thank you for the service, sir.
Yeah, the VATSIM servers are having a little bit of a struggling moment today, I think. Just. So there's going to be a call to the Coast Guard. Well recovered. Let's reposition. Let's have a look over here. Past these 3 cranes. What he was doing there was just effectively just washing the wheels and the brakes, cooling the brakes ready in advance of heavy braking.
Welcome to Gibraltar. Enter back platform with 09, left on Alpha, stand number 2, expedite visit.
On the runway and then stand 2.
Yeah, David, I'm on just the generic VATSIM one now.
Okay, enter back track, runway 09, expedite.
Oh, it's the cemetery, look.
Stand number 2.
Wow. There are about 100 of these headstones are from when MPS Gaming last flew in as well with us. Got another one on final. We quickly, in this little moment of sort of space, have a look at. We have a look at the.
Yeah, kill that. Osprey 69, go along, say then go Rogers Norwich.
Go and then we'll go and off with
Osprey 69, turn left 180 from 4,000 feet.
Another go around.
4,000 left 180 Osprey.
So because it's a visual approach, those in the 737, you've just got to smash the throttle.
Speed 160 around to 4 mile final.
You can't click the little screw because it won't work. Don't know what that's supposed to be.
Runway 27, you are number 1.
Continue approach, runway 27, 1 and 3 Rome.
Ah, David, no worries.
Start making that left turn until you've gone past the airfield.
Yes, I forgot to head into it Osprey now.
That's great, thank you.
If you go around for any reason, folks, you've got to fly over the centre line of the runway, climbing up to 4,000. And only then, the other side of the pier, where that ship is, you can then turn left 180 degrees. Them the rules. Ah. The mighty Jaguar. Formerly based at RAF Coltershall.
Bye-bye.
These awesome Cold War era fighter jets. It's on the RAF side. There's a Chinook as well. It looks like some Bell Hueys, aren't they?
Sorry, just say call sign again.
Dutch Corendon 2904.
Yeah, movers flight for RAF Gibraltar's Western Hangar. They've actually. Ooh, look at all the bombs. We won't tell Spain that they're there. They might get upset.
Dutch Corendon 294, I'm sorry,
That one's empty.
Dutch Corendon 294, 294.
Good, Corendon 294, stand by. We've got a responsive aircraft on the runway. I'm just clearing with them.
Oh my god. He's gonna be fine anyway. Somebody's being told off.
Turning Toyota Romeo, quick 927.
Total 927, 183 out around.
Total 294, stand by with apologies for that. We've got a pilot flying around without clearance. I'll get back to you in a moment.
No worries.
There's the foiling.
Okay.
What else we got? Where would be the Gate Guardian? Trying to think where exactly it would be located. There's the petrol station with the super cheap fuel. £1.17 a litre for petrol.
Gibraltar Tower, Osprey 490, visual 27.
Okay, so I'm sure about the tower, continue put runway 27, you're number 1. Brake, rolling 3, Hotel Romeo, anchor back, track, runway 27, left on Alpha.
Rab, no worries.
Runway 27 left on Alpha, rolling 3 Hotel Romeo.
Blue back for Sierra, continue put runway 27, surface wind 270 degrees 15 knots, expect to net landing clearance.
I feel like we're going to be exploring this for a long time. Oh, David, that's sad. Well, at least we're not looking for something that doesn't exist.
Expediting 113 Hotel Roma.
Right, we've got another one on final. Got to try and work out how many are left. Is it Osprey 490?
So, Osprey 490, confirm, wheels are down.
Wheels down, Osprey 490.
Osprey 490, thank you. Quick
8.
land 27.
8 coming in. Still. My God.
Confirming 3 Hotel Romeo, taxi stand number 5.
Stand number 5, 113 Hotel Roma.
Osprey 490, quick land 27.
Clear to land. Runway 27, Osprey 490.
Interestingly, landing rate monitor said that my touchdown was minus 69 feet per minute.
294. I've got your clearance when you're ready.
I'll give you 2 seconds to ground in the front.
Okay, no problem.
Oh, nice, Doorman. Navigraph Mobile Charts 8 has now been released. Very exciting.
And Gibraltar Tower, good morning. Osprey 2306, we have the fielded site at 12 o'clock.
Osprey 2306, Gibraltar Tower, Roger. Continue approach runway 27, you are number 2. Service wind 270 degrees, 15 knots.
Roger, we are number 2 for approach, cleared for the approach, Osprey 2306.
Ooh, inky wind, kicking him a bit. Oh! Through the fence. Basically just helping dig the tunnel a bit quicker. By ploughing it with the nose of a 737 at 140 knots.
So that's 2306, confirm, wheels are down.
Wheels are
Cool,
down.
and now he's got to
Osprey
get off
2306.
all the way up at Alpha
Thank you.
in about 35 seconds.
490, flat track runway 09, expedite, vacate left on Alpha.
Because he's on someone's on
Backtrack,
very short final.
And off at Alpha.
Good effort, David. Keep smashing the like button as well, folks.
2306, expect a ferry late landing clearance.
Don't worry about it, go expect that late landing clearance, Osprey 2306.
Run on to the forward, ready to copy.
Good. Calling on to now for the quick to Amsterdam after departure runway 27. It's left hand 10 Sicily around Gibraltar on track Plymouth.
New Zealand release is imminent, indeed. Any time from now, in the next 2 hours, the New Zealand World Update is releasing for Microsoft Flight Simulator, along with all those new updates for the airports as well across New Zealand, both North and South Islands. And that incredible standard setting Christchurch Airport payware releasing by the folks at NZA Simulations in conjunction or in celebration with that scenery update as well for New Zealand. All that juicy photogrammetry as well, so those of you with the Orbex mesh, I'd probably make sure you've uninstalled that as well prior to loading in after the update to see the difference, make sure it doesn't cause any issues.
Alpha stand number 5.
Really looking forward to the New Zealand update. It's one of the most remarkable places in the world in the sim.
Osprey 2306.
Here we go.
Quick land runway 27.
Clear land 27, Osprey 2306.
Gibraltar Tower, Osprey 2472, with you.
Osprey 2472, Gibraltar Tower, hello, continue approach. You are number 2. Service wind 270 degrees 14 knots.
Number 2 for Osprey 2472.
Ace, yeah, it's nice and detailed, isn't it, so far? And you know what, we've seen about, what, a third? A quarter of what the scenery actually genuinely has to offer. You know what, I actually think some of these landings are, A, the fact that they've got different scenery, but B, the VATSIM servers are struggling. Latest METAR from Brian, winds 270 degrees at 14 knots, all the nines, few cloud 4,500, broken 25,000 feet, temperature 16, dew point 7, QNH 1011, and blue.
Good 294, hold position, I will call you back.
He's going screw.
Q306, welcome to Gibraltar. Taxi, Nescon Alpha, stand number 5.
Nescon Alpha, stand number 5, Osprey 206, for ATC.
Yeah, I think they are server issues.
Code on 294, after the passing aircraft from behind, pushing start through, and it will be
VATSIM
a
server is
straight push
automatic for me.
After the traffic has passed, we'll be do a straight pushback. That's going out to the 4.
That's a good backtrack, really, because it's got off as quick as he can, so there's less go-arounds. So he's just slammed the brakes on. Otherwise, it would have stuffed this guy up.
Question, Osprey 2472, confirm wheels are down.
Which is Ian.
Wheels down for Osprey 2472.
Osprey 2472, thank you. Service wind 270 degrees 14 knots. Runway 27, clear to land.
Clear to land for Osprey 2472.
Bear in mind as well that these guys have probably already got the Asobo Gibraltar as well, which I've uninstalled for this scenery. So their scenery might be slightly different with where the runway is positioned and all that sort of thing.
Gibraltar Tower, Dubrovnik, Papa Lima, visual 27.
Dubrovnik to Papa Lima, Gibraltar Tower, header. Continue approach runway 27.
That's Hergy with his mad dog
Surface wind
flying in.
270 degrees 14 knots.
Continue approach 27, number 2, Dubrovnik, Papa Lima.
So if this aircraft lands near the fence, then they've got definitely scenery. Yeah, there you go. So this is all scenery. They've got the runway in a slightly different location. Because that's the third in a row that's landed there. Oh my god, Zato, what happened? Landing rate minus 1,261. So basically, you crashed. RDPresets, hello buddy. Welcome. So far, well, we've only seen a quarter, but it looks fantastic. A couple of questions we've had though. One of them was if you were to forget that you've changed the packaging, that sim objects package, for triggering the road to be active or otherwise, that runway crossing to be open or closed. If you forgot, could you dynamically change that, or would you have to restart your sim? And then the second question we had was, what's the price on release on the 25th of Feb?
But yeah, because I got an aircraft went back on your stand.
Sorry, Steve, repeat again. I was blocked by my pushback.
Because the aircraft landing big your stand.
Roger. I think I will be able to taxi out in like 20 seconds.
Good on 294, thank you. Taxi, in fact, do you have Bravo 1 on your scenery?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, then when ready, taxi Whiskey Bravo, hold Bravo 1.
Next one coming in.
Hold Bravo 1.
This is Zato and it's Dubrovnik Airlines MD82. RDPresets says there will be a custom software included with release to make it changing aircraft easy, which you're able to then do in flight as long as the airport is not in sight yet. That's awesome. So, was it Alex that was asking that earlier on in the chat? So the answer is yes, you can with the custom software. And then the price, €19.99. Oh, yeah. There you go, Alex. Yeah, this is Hergy coming in his MD82. Sorry, not Zato.
Good afternoon, you guys. So, area 2175. Have you 2175 about a tower partnership?
Somebody asked as well, are there the monkeys on the rock? No way. Look at the smoke.
Radio 2175, plug one fan, ready to copy.
You can tell Hergy's in. We're triggering an environmental disaster.
70, stand by, I'll call you back.
I didn't expect that. Here's the Mad Dog anyway. Oh look, got some contrails, somebody flying above as well. Yes, we have to have a little look at the mountains. We've still got how many more landings, folks? We're going to have a look at a lot of stuff, including the animated cable car.
Next one now, scan number 4.
How cool is that?
Backtrack 09 Alpha to stand for Dubrovnik AT.
Also, Mark Delta 6 miles from AT7.
After 1 Mike Delta, continue flight from AT7, 1238. Service wind 270.
All to land, David. Nice. Then we can go and explore the rest.
Continue approach, that's for Mark Delta.
Brian said I would love to see seagulls. Are there any bird packages available for here? I don't know actually, to be honest. So yeah, we know €19.99. There's going to be custom software included so that you can change, depending on what aircraft you're in, providing the aircraft isn't in sight, you can change what then triggers the road.
Where did you call me Gatwick Tower? Osprey 69, welcome back. Continue flight, runway 27, you are number 3.
Number 3 in the Gibraltar Tower, Osprey 69.
I'll let you off.
We haven't flown in the Mad Dog for a little while. There's literally smoke billowing out of that. That's fantastic.
Runway 27, clear to land.
Look at the state at the back of that. It shouldn't make me laugh, but it does.
Just hold on 2 hours for this information. You'll be there for about 5 to 10 minutes. We've got 3 or 4 aircraft coming in back to back.
Roger, run on 2904, it's no problem. I will just wait.
That cheap oil. So this is number 4 of 4.
2472 is at the gate. I'll disconnect and free up the gate for you.
Thanks for flying. Bye bye.
Thanks for the ATC. Have a great day.
Good night.
Iberia 2175.
Has he been cleared to land?
Here at 175, I copy. Iberia 2175. You cleared to destination. After departure, runway 27, it will be a left turn on track to surface.
Hopefully not on crack, on track.
Level 80 and focus 2004.
Oh. This is the VATSIM servers being weird that's kind of making these look so messy. Awesome touchdown. Yes, very good. There's the windsock.
One Mike Delta, welcome to Gibraltar, backtrack from the 09, taxi, next one out, stand number 5.
Left off, stand 4, left over 1 knob.
Change the view a little bit, explore this a little bit.
Expedite circuit. Ryanair, I do apologise. Osprey 6, now confirm wheels are down.
Osprey 6, yes, it's fun.
Yikes.
What we got for views here? So just where the cursor is now, that's where the next pilot is. That's number 3 of 4 coming in.
Okay, 1 Mike Delta, aircraft is on a 3-mile final.
And then we got Fritz.
In other words, hurry up.
Yeah, don't have to do a second go, man, thank you.
And then Depot Dolphin.
Do Max 69, I will give you the wind now, just in case. 270 degrees full corner.
Ooh, that's very close. Oh, Rab, yeah, that's frustrating, buddy. Sorry to hear that. He's very high.
Gibraltar Tower Osprey, Gibraltar Boxer would be at like 2,000 feet. Inbound 27.
That Corendon must be like, what on earth? Why did I choose Gibraltar today to depart from? He's still there, burning fuel. He'll be looking at his minimum takeoff fuel. Oh, I don't know what that's supposed to match as. Ace, yeah, the military taxiway signs and things, so let's have a look.
This was on final, approximately 4 miles. I'm going to try and get you out in between him. We're just after him, Stephen.
We are set for immediate departure.
No, by the looks of it.
I'm going to get you out just after him, so stand by 1. Osprey 69.
So it's an RTX 2070 Super.
Backtrack, turn left on Alpha, stand number 5.
Backtrack that, stand number 5, thank God for the fire.
And it goes on 249 behind the Nanking aircraft is for correction, Boeing 737-900. Via Bravo
Look at that. We'll watch the touchdown from here.
Behind the landing aircraft, line up and wait.
There's a couple of buildings as well, custom, World Trade Center, the port area as well, the docks. Look at that, very nice. Cable car in the background, whirring away, taking people up and down. Yamato, no, we've got to look around the whole island. We've got to explore this new scenery. Ian, that's good.
804, click 9, runway 27, service wind 210 degrees 1 knot. Osprey 804 Foxtrot.
804 Foxtrot.
Clear to land runway 27.
Clear to land 27, Osprey 804 Foxtrot.
And countdown to 904, countdown 9 up clearance. I don't think there'll be enough room.
Oh, consider land clearance, because it's ground up to
Countdown 294, there is one final aircraft. He's currently on a 10-mile final. I can definitely get you into Hangen.
Roger,
Delta target afternoon, speedbird 72 with you 10 miles, runway 27.
There's D-Pod, last one.
Today 72, Gibraltar Tower, and continue approach runway 27, you are number 2.
Roger, number 2, 07.
No, he's high. I think it's just the perspective. We zoom out a bit and all of a sudden he looks lower. Touchdown zone's there. Boom. Touchdown. By the way, so he's because I've got chocks enabled on the aeroplane. The models will also have chocks on them as well.
Stand by, we'll call you back.
For the PMDG's model matching. Nicely done. Watching backtrack, and we have Speedbird coming in.
Osprey 804 Foxtrot down, clear to backtrack.
Osprey 804 Foxtrot, enter backtrack 09 and next on Alpha.
A tail skid out, I use Tokyo Drift.
Skrrr! Osprey 804 Foxtrot, thank you.
And got code on 2904, behind the landing British Airways A321neo, via Bravo 1, Mountain runway 27.
My goodness.
Behind.
Oh God.
behind
Brakes.
the landing speed correction, British Airways, down at way from runway 27 behind.
Gibraltar Tower, Osprey 804 Foxtrot, vacate runway.
Osprey 804 Foxtrot.
Alex says, does using player models like the PMDG and model matching have much of a performance impact compared to FSLTL or FS traffic models? I haven't really seen or noticed a significant impact, to be honest, on performance in that sense.
Northern area. So taxi right on Alpha, and then you can park on the northern apron.
Osprey 69, EGTE 7, we're just disconnecting now.
In that case, we might make a for taxi left now, stand number 5.
Left on stand number 5, thank you.
Here comes D-Pod. In an A321 Neo. That's what I do. It's fantastic. It's so tough to learn anyway.
Wheels down, Super 72.
Sorry, say again?
Wheels are down for Super 72.
72, thank you. Service wind 270 degrees 14 knots. Runway 27.
It was good for it. It's hard. It's hard work in the 737. This sort of approach. Certainly the visual approach. You're managing throttle and pitch and trim.
We have an unresponsive aircraft. I think he's about to 9 up on the runway. So just so you're aware.
What's that, Super 72?
Oh God, yeah. This is an FSLTL model, I believe. There we go. That's his touchdown. That was great, D-Pod.
Alpha Charlie Thunder 211, no frequency.
Gibraltar Tower, thank you for the EGTE. Have a good afternoon.
Thanks for flying. Bye-bye.
There we are. Let's whip that up.
Welcome to Gibraltar. Backtrack runway.
Should we go and explore?
On Alpha, stand number 5.
So,
Backtrack 09.
we're going to weave in and around the island to have a little look to see what RDPresets is bringing to the table with this new payware Gibraltar Airport scenery.
Iberia 2175. After new passing British Airways A321, pushing start through face east.
And when we go around the other side of the island, we'll come back with the lights off for sort of sunset time to have a little look, see what it looks like then. I have no idea where Ocean Village is, Airstream. I've never been to Gibraltar in my life. I was tempted to have sim, to be honest. There's the airport.
Wasn't quite sure where the frequency bus was.
Sorry, no problem. I was just a bit worried. I didn't want you landing up on the runway.
That's a great harbour. Last time we mooched around here, we raced down this little pier bit here, didn't we? In the Mitsubishi Pajero freeway, if you remember. That was well over a year and a bit ago. Mateo's saying, will we fly the Aerosoft A330? Absolutely, yes.
And Gibraltar, I've got 221 has detected an enemy balloon flying over Gibraltar, requesting priority takeoff, please.
So here's the cable car area.
Are the Chinese already in Gibraltar?
Adam's saying, do you think the A330 will arrive before across the pond? I really don't know, to be totally honest.
For service winds 270 degrees 1 follow up. Runway 27 quick to take off.
Citizen clear takeoff, it's current altitude 4.
And I've got 221, sorry, I'll cut into Gibraltar radar. Say again?
Ascot 221 has detected an enemy Chinese balloon flying overhead, just requesting priority takeoff from runway 27, please.
Look at that.
Everett 175, push back approve, after, bueno, ya pues, A21 pass, face east.
I got 221, fire, Delta 9 up runway 27.
Run up and rate runway 27 for Ascot 221.
So nothing else really that way, but I want to...
And you are intercepting a Chinese air balloon in a TPM now, confirm?
Yeah, confirm performance takeoff directly runway 27, straight up to 30,000 feet.
The American used fighter jet, the British used TBM.
Showing as a TBM, but my heart is an F-35.
No, bless you.
I have no idea what's going on. There's the top of the...
You were showing up as an F-35 in my ears.
Look at that.
Yeah, it depends who's got the model, I think.
Top of the rock, my goodness. Is that actually the view from the top?
294, Monkey Unicom 122.8, have a nice flight. Bye-bye.
Crikey.
Unicom 122.8, have a great day and thanks for the seat. Bye.
That's quite cool, isn't it? There's that aircraft taking off. Brendan.
221, flight out there, now runway 27.
It's on Tall Rock.
Ascot 221.
I have no idea what Ascot 221 is shown as for us model matching wise.
221, confirm location of the unidentified object.
Location of unidentified objects is directly on top of the rock.
Oh God. It's a huge, vast amount of rocky outcrop, isn't it?
And I've got Q1, service wing, 270 degrees, 1 follow-up, runway 27.
Oh, there's a lot of car parky bits down there.
Take off runway 27 for escort 221.
So let's wind the time forwards because I want to see what this looks like at sunset as well. So we pick about here. Oh yes. Very nice. Oh. It's supposed to be an F-35. But it's not. It's an Asobo default thing, which is a shame.
I've got Q1, you can remain on its frequency.
Ascot 221 will be disconnecting in a second.
Okay, no problem. Thanks for flying.
I love how the controller kind of just sort of went with it. And we go to night time. Oh yes, my favourite time of day and night in the sim. Look at that. Let's go back to that deck. Christ. That's cool.
Emirates 175 ready to taxi.
Iberia 2175, taxi, Echo, hold, Echo.
Taxiing via Echo for Echo.
Now I've got to turn the beacons off. We can still see our beacons flashing away in the distance because we've kept them on to keep the road closed. Spanish will be fuming. Trying to go home across the border. Unable to do so. Right off in the distance over there, you've got some more ships. Now interestingly, there's supposed to be a yellow buoy here flashing in the water. So maybe that's something that they could add in at some point in a future update, perhaps. Right, let me just dump in. Anti-collision lights off. Thank you for the ATC, really appreciate it.
No problem, thanks for flying everyone. Now the Q175, do you require backtrack?
You see cars. We've opened the road.
The Q175?
Look at that.
175.
Do you require backtrack?
0 back at runway 27.
The Q175, service wind 270 degrees 1 follow-up, runway 27 clear kickoff.
Now, obviously they're going to go through the cars. But that's fine. Look at that. Very cool. Nice to see cars whirring around as well.
Uber 72's on trucks. Thanks for your service. Have a great day.
Thanks for flying. Bye-bye.
That's pretty cool, isn't it? They've done a great job. So much better than the default Asobo handcrafted one as well. The night emissives and the textures in the apron and everything look really good. The cable car moving around on the island is just really quite spectacular as well. There goes RDPreset is saying all of the area around the airport is included. Custom, all the graves in the graveyard are custom placed as well. We saw that on the ground as we were mooching around upon arrival. And this is releasing on the 25th of February for Microsoft Flight Simulator on the RDPresets store, the link for which is in the description for today's live stream as well. So thank you to all of our ATC, our fellow pilots who flew along today as well on the VATSIM network and otherwise. The New Zealand World Update is imminent. At some point in the next few minutes today, the World Update New Zealand is available, and then thus, in addition to that, that incredible NZA simulations scenery for Christchurch as well, releasing simultaneously as payware too. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Make sure you hit like before you head off. Click subscribe as well if you've not done so already. Enjoy the weekend ahead. Share your thoughts on the New Zealand World Update coming soon. If you grab this on release as well, let us know. Show your screenshots to us all in Discord too, over in our Discord server. And thank you to RDPreset as well for sending us the package and allowing us to do some previews with it too. Thank you for watching, everybody. Enjoy all of the releases coming in the next few days. 2 Whopper A380s on the apron all of a sudden now. And I will see you the other side of the weekend. Take care. See you soon.
Have a good afternoon, everyone. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Thank you.